Good morning, my bright and smiling faces. My name is Miss Williams, and I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, the Milwaukee Alumni Chapter. I am here today to read to you a story as part of the Delta Deers Read Aloud project. So, I hope you are ready to enjoy another wonderful story. There's actually a little story behind me purchasing this book. I actually purchased this book for a little boy that I know and hold dear to my heart. His name is Sanko. And so for his birthday, I purchased this book. And after getting the book in the mail, I read the book and I was just so endeared with the book. And it was just such a wonderful story of a little boy and an older man. So I hope you enjoy this story as much as I'm going to enjoy reading and sharing it with you. So the name of the book is Mr. George Baker. And the author of the book is Amy Hest, and it is illustrated by John J. Muth. And there's the cover of the book. So let's get ready to listen and be entertained. See this man? This one here sitting on the porch? That's Mr. George Baker, and he's 100 years old. No kidding. There's Mr. George Baker, and then there's a little boy. Let's see what his name is. Hurry up, Harry. Mr. Harry in charge. That's George, all snappy and happy in the morning. He's always calls, hurry up, Harry, when I'm crossing lawns, his and mine, and he's always there first, waiting on the porch. And there he is, Mr. George Baker, waiting on Harry. See his pants all baggy? What holds them up? Suspenders. Brown baggy pants with 2 side pockets and 2 in back. There's candy in those pockets. Little chocolate candies in twisty silver wrappers. George pops one in his mouth, and I do too. We wait on the porch and chew. So there they are on the porch. Wonder what they're waiting for. I like his crumpled hat and his long, stretchy legs. His shoes are crumpled too, with long shoelaces. Mine always come undone in the morning. Let's have a look, said George, making 2 double knots that never come undone, not ever. See this man? This one here, zipping up his book bag? His book bag is red like mine, and there's a book inside. But George can't read. 100 years old, and he never learned how. That must be corrected, said George. And there he is, with his red backpack, just like Harry's. I really like his sweater, all hanging with 3 buttons. It's chilly in the morning, and we both hug our knees and wait. We wait, watching leaves blow off trees. They fly for a while, they float. They tumble for a while, they swoop. And there they are waiting, and the leaves are just flying in the air. Wonder what time of the year that is with the trees coming off the leaves. It's probably the fall time of the year. Now the screen door creaks, and you know who teeters out, Mrs. Baker. And some people say she's 90. Well, here you are, Harry, looking after my George. Mrs. Baker puts a sack on the step beside George, and there's lunch in the sack for later. For the man I love, says Miss Baker. And there's Mrs. Baker giving Mr. Baker a kiss on his forehead. And it looks like she has his lunch in her hand. Why, Mrs. B, you flatter me. George gets up all crookedy and slow, and the next thing you know, they're dancing. Then Mrs. Baker gives a wave and a wink. Goodbye, she says. Be good, she says, and goes back in the house with purple shutters. There's Mr. and Mrs. Baker dancing. George Baker and me, George Baker and I, we sit on the step and wait. Side by side, we wait. So there they are waiting, and there's their red book bags. So what are they waiting for? We're soon going to find out. See these crookedy fingers going tippity on his knees. They fly across his knees. Tippity boom, tippity boom, tippity boom, boom, tap. George Baker is a drummer man, and some people say he's famous. Sometimes he drums on his porch at night and the neighbors come by. Up the road and down the road, they come to hear my drummer man. There's Mr. Baker. Looks like he was a drummer in his early years. Because remember, he's 100 years old now. Shh, listen, George gets up real slow. I take his hand and he takes mine, and we shuffle down the walk to the big school bus. Morning, says the driver. We've been waiting, answers George. There are 22 kids on the bus plus 4 grown-ups on the bus. They all want George. Over here, they cry. Sit here, they say. But George sits with me each and every day. So there's George and Harry. And here comes the school bus. See this man? This one in room 7? That's Mr. Baker. And he's 100 years old. No kidding. He's learning to read with the grown-ups in room 7. And my room is right down the hall. I'm learning too, and it's hard. So there's Mr. Baker, and he's going to school to learn to read. We can do it, says George after school. Our books are green and our lips sound out the letters. Read slow, but his fingers fly across his knees like a big old drum. Tippity boom, tippity boom. Tippity boom, boom, tap. So as you can see from this story, Mr. Baker was 100 years old, but he had never learned to read. But what this story tells us is that you're never too old to learn. So that's what you'll be doing today. Hopefully you're going to be learning to read, learning to write. So take advantage of every day and make the best of it. And always in closing, I like to say, be your best because your best is good enough. See you until next time. Bye-bye.